They say that Ireland is a land of thousand welcomes, but why do so many people still feel lonely here? If you're wondering whether Ireland is a lonely country or is it just you, so let's talk about it. When I first moved to Ireland, I was so busy with university and assignment and part-time work, I did not get the time to feel lonely. But later, when the university was over, I was graduated and I was looking for work. That time, the loneliness hits you the most because suddenly everything changes. You are in the job market, and all your friends are in the job market, they're looking for jobs. And then there is also a healthy competition between you and your friends. And I will be very honest, for example, if one of your friends get job before you, it does sting a little because you are equally working hard. But for example, if you are not getting the kind of replies you're expecting, then it does feel bad when you see other people getting jobs and celebrating and you're stuck. So for me, it started happening during that time. I think when I was looking for a full-time job during 2020, that was one of the loneliest periods of my life. That was also during COVID. The job market was not great, and all my friends had moved to different cities, and we were not, and those friends, those who were in my city, we were not hanging out much. So that made a lot of difference. But we're going to talk more in the video about whether Ireland itself is lonely or whether it depends on you as a person. So I'm going to talk in this video from the point of view of people, those who move here for study or work or for business or whatever reason. What makes people ask this question in the first place? It is because of the reviews that we hear from people who are already living here, whether it's a lonely country or not. And I won't lie, so many people do feel that it is a lonely country, especially if you're moving abroad. Moving abroad is hard. You are starting your life from scratch. You move all by yourself to a different country, and then it is so hard to make friends and meet genuine people and make genuine connections. And then on the top of that, the pressure of finding a job, the pressure of proving yourself to your parents, the pressure of proving yourself to the society, it all adds up to that ordeal, I would say. Talking about Ireland, as I said in the starting of the video, Ireland is said to be the land of thousand or hundred welcomes. People here are extremely friendly. They are so welcoming. They are very helpful. They will help you without even asking. Like if they think you need help, they read your body gesture, they will come and help you and ask you whether you need help or not. So even after being one of the friendliest countries in the world, why can people feel lonely here? I think one of the major reasons is the weather. I think that's the case in so many European countries and even in UK. The weather during winter gets really depressing. It gets dark at 4 and it's dark till 8 in the morning. And it's like if you're going to work, you're going to work in the dark and you're coming back in the dark. And life in general feels so depressing. But I've also noticed one thing, and I've also experienced it myself and people around me saying that as soon as the February ends and the March or April begins, they start to feel better because the days are longer. And in summer, the days, the sun shines remains until 10:30. Yeah, it doesn't get dark until 10:30. So when you're going to bed, it's still daylight. Sun rises around 4, half 4, 5. So that's the best time, and that does make a lot of difference on what you're feeling, on your emotions, on your mental health. And also during the winter time, Ireland provide a lot of services if people want to talk anonymously. For example, so many people here, old people, they live alone, so they have a service they can call and they can talk to someone if they are feeling lonely. I think that's such a great thing to be doing for old people, because that's the culture here. Kids move out, unlike India, so kids move out when they are 18, and I think that's the kind of preference for parents as well. They kind of like their own life separate from the kids, their independent life, their privacy. But in old age, it does get a little difficult, so that's the kind of service they provide. And there's so many other services that are provided for old people to combat the loneliness. But as a student or working professional, it does get tough. Sometimes it gets tough to fit in within your class group, within your peer groups. And sometimes people, those who are introvert, they find it even hard to meet people, to make friends, to find connections. And that's when it starts to hit them that life in India was better, or wherever you are from. Oh, I miss my friends, I miss my family. It does get tough, I'm not gonna lie, but it does get better. Also, age and your stage of life depends as well. If you are a student and you're busy all the time, you might not even find time to feel lonely. You might feel lonely on the days when you're free, you don't have much to do, and you're seeing, or for example, you're seeing your friends and family in India getting together, and you're missing out on that. But if you keep yourself busy, if you find joys and little moments of happiness on where you are and what you're doing at that moment, and tell yourself, oh, this is where I need to be, this is the best for me, and try to find your little sources of happiness here and there, and you will see beauty all around you. You will see that it's all worth it. And if people are having fun there, if people are meeting people there, I can do that same here. You just need to step out of your comfort zone. It also depends on which city you are living in. For example, smaller cities like Galway, Offaly, Tullamore, Kilkenny, you can feel a lot lonelier there than you might feel in cities like Cork or Dublin. And I used to live in Galway. After I graduated, I used to feel a lot lonely there. And then I got a job in Dublin and then moved here. So for me, I could find that there are a lot of things to do, because I think if you are a single person and you like to do a lot of activities, it is difficult for you to survive in a smaller city. So that's the challenge that I was facing in Galway. But when I moved to Dublin, things started getting better for me. So it depends definitely what city you are living in. So if you are someone who's very social, who likes to do many things, who likes to socialize a lot, I think Dublin or Cork, and these are the only two major cities here, you will feel a lot better rather than if you're living in a smaller city like Galway, Kilkenny. Also, it depends on what your living situation is. For example, if you are living alone in a studio apartment, or you have your own house, or you're renting an apartment, that can make a lot of difference. Like currently, I live with housemates. We are 4 girls sharing a house, and I think that's really great for me, and the girls that I live with feel the same way. It saves you money, and then you're living with people. You don't feel isolated. You don't feel as lonely. Like, we don't meet all the time. We don't hang out all the time, but it does make a lot of difference. Whereas if you are a family and you have your husband, your wife, your partner, or your kids around, then it's a different story. No matter where you live, you're always home, because home is where your loved ones are. So for them, I think it's easier to survive no matter what the city is, because they will already have the support system, and I don't think after that you need much. You can make most of your life no matter where you live if you have your loved ones and your support system around. Also, one thing I have noticed that people, those who move here directly for work, it's tougher for them to make friends, to find genuine connections, than the people, those who moved here for their masters or their graduation, or for any degree, or for their studies. It's easier to make friend in that kind of relaxed and laid back setting. But at work, I think because people are already settled in the ways they live, and there is also a healthy competition, so that also makes a lot of difference. That is what I've heard and felt myself. Like, I still have my close friends are the ones that I met in college here, and from work not so much. And that's what I have heard from people, those who have moved directly for work here, that it is difficult to make friends in office than it is in college. Now, whatever we talked about, I want to add another layer on it. So whether the country, or whether any country, is lonely or not depends on who you are. Like, for example, for me, I used to feel lonely so many times in India when I was living away from home in Jaipur, and I feel less lonelier here. So that depends completely on who you are, because being a girl in India is tough, right? You have curfew, you have limits on when you can go out, what you can wear, what kind of lifestyle you can have, right? I don't have that restrictions here. I can just step out of my house whenever I want, without thinking much, and I can just wear whatever I want. That brings a lot of peace of mind. And yeah, I don't feel as lonely as I would feel sometimes, even back in my home country. So again, depends on who you are. If you are someone who like to socialize a lot, who has always lived with family, who has never lived away from home, even in India or wherever you are from. So I think for those people, it can be really tough to adjust, because suddenly you are on your own. Suddenly, all that support system, all the love, care, suddenly it's gone. And that does hit you hard. And that is bound to hit you hard. So, again, definitely depends on who you are, what kind of lifestyle you prefer. Some people love it here because it's away from the family and relatives, and that's what some people want. They just want peace in their life, and it works great for them. But if you are someone who's family oriented, it might not work for you, because you might want to stay in that kind of environment where all your family and friends are nearby. Yeah, so again, like we discussed, different factors, the cities, the stage of life you're at, whether you moved here for work or for college. So it all of it makes a lot of difference, whether you are an introvert, an extrovert, whether you like to do many things or whether you just like to stay home. So totally depends on how you make most of your time here and how you make your life less lonely. Definitely weather impacts a lot. For example, if it's raining a lot where you are staying, for example in Galway it used to rain a lot, so then you can't do much of the outdoor activities. Well, you can. People here are so used to rain that it doesn't matter for them. They just go spend their day the way they want, no matter what kind of weather it is. People go on hikes even when it's raining. I have been on hikes even when it's raining, and I have the most amazing time. I have started to fall in love with the rain. So yeah, again, I think I've said it so many times, but it depends upon you. Now let's talk about how to overcome the loneliness. So if you're someone who is feeling lonely lately, there are things that you can try, and it will definitely take some hard work. You will definitely need to step out of your comfort zone and try these things. For example, one thing that I did was I joined a sports club and I joined a sport. So I have been playing squash for 1.5 years now, and in my club they do this Friday social, so where all the club members, they come at the same time in the evening, and they can bring friends and family, and you all can play with each other. Like otherwise you have to book a slot and play, but this is like a social night. You can have food, drinks, and then you can play with each other, meet each other, and then you can make friends and decide, hey, I play at this time on this day, would you like to join me sometime? So that's, I think, one of the great way to make friends, because you're meeting new people, you're making friends, and then you are learning a new sport, and also it's healthy, right? You're also working on your health at the same time. What could be better than that? So it's a win-win situation. So I read this quote the other day, that if you want to help yourself, help others. So that's one of the best way to help yourself. So coming to the point, if you're feeling lonely, you can try charity work and volunteering. I think you will feel a sense of calmness. You will feel this joy, this feeling of abundance. I just can't explain how it feels, because I have done volunteering, some charity work back in India, some here, and it does feel great, because you're giving back to someone, you're giving back to the society, you're giving back to the community you are living in, and you're doing something selflessly for others. And yeah, even if it for selfish reasons, do it to feel less lonely, do it to meet people. There's so many people who meet through volunteering, and later on in life they get married or they start dating. So, and that's also a way to meet like-minded people. So that's something that you can definitely try, and I think you should try. And if you love animals, there's so many options for charity work in animal shelters as well, so do try that as well. Also, in Ireland, there are different communities from different countries. Like there is an Indian community here, Indian meetup groups, and then there is, I think, if you're from Spain, there's Spanish communities, and you can just join any of the communities. It's not nationality based; it's just the name. So, for example, if you want to learn new language or meet Spanish people, there is an app called Meetup, and you can meet people there. There are so many different events that the head of these groups organize, like a language exchange event and pub quiz and icebreakers and stuff like that. People also go on hikes together, they go for trips together, Yeah, and they go for, there are so many running clubs that you can join. And then obviously I think gym is also a great place to meet people. I have made a couple of friends in the gym that I used to go. And at the end, I think it totally depends upon you how you want to come out of it, how you want to feel about it. You can even embrace loneliness, because there's so many people, those who are looking for some quiet time, isolation, stillness in their life. So if you're one of them, you can definitely embrace it. But otherwise, try to make the most of it. If you're lonely, that means you have time in your hand and you can do so many things with it, like learn a new musical instrument, try making a YouTube video. I started making YouTube videos on one of my loneliest days here, and it has turned out really, really well. So try doing that. Just try anything random. Go talk to a random stranger, go sit in a cafe, get yourself a coffee, read a nice book, or just look around people, just do people watching if that's what you want. That So these things have worked for me in the past and have worked for other people who have met my friends. So definitely try these things out and let me know whether you're here or you're planning to move here, and whether that is something that on your mind. If Ireland is a lonely country, let me know in the comments, and I love to know about your experience. So that was it for today's video, guys. I'll see you in my next video.